Won't honor the contract? Fine. Hope you like hot pink duct tape. Many years ago I was an elected union president at a Fortune 500 company, but I was only in charge of one contracted group. As such, the bargaining power of the main company was much higher than my own, but even they couldn't intervene too much. My group's contract switched from Company A to Company B in 2012, but the contract remained unchanged. Company B inherited all of the contract requirements of Company A and agreed to meet them, but opted to fight me on several minor clauses when it came down to it. Most were solved without much conflict, but the major sticking point was in regard to uniforms. Our contract ensured that we were given an allowance to pay for new uniforms and vouchers for steel toe boots every year. When it came time for our new vouchers, they refused, citing that they'd given us a slight raise which should offset the cost of boots. I informed him that a cost of living raise didn't void the portion of the contract requiring them to provide vouchers for shoes, to which they responded they just hadn't figured out how to provide vouchers yet. After assurances they would provide the vouchers as soon as they could work it out, I dropped the issue. Unsurprisingly, months later they still hadn't provided vouchers for replacement shoes. It should be noted that this was a very large campus and many of us walked several miles a day in these shoes, and the shoes were caked with chemicals and dirt and started to look pretty vile within a year. We had to wear the same work shoes in office areas and we had started to get complaints. I decided to lean into this. This is where malicious compliance begins. No new shoes? Fine. I'll rig 'em up to last longer. I went out and bought several rolls of the flashiest and most obnoxious duct tape I could find. I began to repair holes in my shoes with duct tape and extra fabric to the point that my hot pink shoes became easily recognizable. The safety team for the main company was so amused they gifted me hot pink safety glasses and gloves to match. I also lent out my gaudy duct tape collection to any employee needing to upgrade their shoes. Suddenly the complaints about our dirty shoes were replaced by complaints about obviously duct-taped shoes. Whenever we were asked, we'd tell both union and non-union co-workers that it was a small protest against the refusal to honor the shoe vouchers in the contract. The next year rolls around and still no shoe vouchers, but suddenly our uniform allowance was increased $150 to allow for new steel-toed shoes to be purchased. After speaking to the union members, I agreed to allow that in place of the vouchers. I kept my duct tape collection permanently on display as a threat and would use it any time safety equipment wasn't being replaced and required repair. I mean, they got away that first year not having to pay, but at what price? What loud, flashy, and fabulous price? Way back in the day, I carried obnoxious girly pink Bic lighters, or Zippos. Kept my lighters from ending in my fire klepto buddy's pocket. Had to hold him upside down and shake him at the end of the night. Lol. If I had awards, they would all go to you. This is absolutely beautiful MC. They were more than a hero, they were a union op. When my sister separated from her then husband and went to live on her own, she didn't get to take the tools along. I bought her a tool chest with €200 of tools, including one roll of hot pink duct tape, and the rest all normal. She loved it. Your CBA doesn't have a grievance and arbitration clause. Good job. Personally, I love hot pink duct tape. Just saying. Solidarity. Glorious. A simple and effective protest. Nicely done. Hilarious. Dunno if someone asked already, but would love to see a picture. You are a god. If you give me a raise and then force me to use it on work stuff, then it's not really a raise, is it? Kid tested. Union approved. That's excellent. Well done for keeping the reminder hanging around. Good for you. It was easier than suing. This is a great story, but I don't understand why it fits this sub. Where's the compliance? Was there a rule or an order being followed? The company got away with it basically. Yeah, this one isn't great. Good work. Were there any injuries throughout the year due to broken down boots? One whole year you went without proper shoes. And instead of encouraging your colleagues to speak up, you gave them pink tape as well. Worst protest I've ever heard about. You could have gathered your work colleagues in a fortnightly basis to speak with your manager regarding this. You should have kept bringing it up to your manager in a weekly basis until it was resolved. Not wait a year while company gets away with it. You gained nothing, your employer got what they wanted. The rise in allowance was probably due to inflation and was due an increase anyway. Why didn't you file a grievance? ... This sounds familiar. Would that union happen to be CWA by any chance? Was this in the US? 'Cause they're required by 1910 to provide safety shoes. This is an awesome story. I love it. I drive buses in my state's capital city. We were issued a staff alert last year stating we need to wear a high-vis vest everywhere in the depot, except for walking between and in the admin buildings. I went out and bought a bright pink one, and had "Don't Hit Me Idiot" put on the back in reflective vinyl. Nowhere in the staff alert did it mention that it had to be the company-issued vest. They still got away with not paying for your new shoes for a year though. I hate the color pink, but in this case, I fully support it. I love that you kept your pink pair on display as a warning. Companies need reminders like that. Please let us see those pink shoes. I love being in a union just for the pettiness game you get to play with management. Union, compliance, and duct tape, my 3 favorite tools. I totally assumed, you know what they say, that you were a dude, and I was just imagining some man in pink work boots, gloves, and goggles doing business as usual, fabulously. I even had a Money Supermarket Epic Squads dance-off going through my head as I read your story. XD. Depending on the chemicals that were eating at your shoes, OSHA, if in US, may have been an option. At least the safety group should have been on them, as it could have been framed as a safety issue if the chemical can eat through leather. Duct tape won't be appropriate. Most companies want to screw you over using safety as a weapon, but absolutely hate when it is used back on them. Slam dunk malicious compliance. Ferenczi Rule of Acquisition number 17. A contract is a contract is a contract, but only between Ferenczi. I love stories involving duct tape, masterfully done. As a shop steward at a place that's interested in generally doing the right thing, I appreciate the reminder of what I don't have to deal with. Solidarity, and keep up the awesome work. I hope everyone went out and bought hot pink boots. Nice. Insert Wolf of Wall Street clap gif here. Bravo, good sir, bravo. I think this is kinda nuts. In the UK, it's a legal requirement that employers must provide all relevant PPE for the job. It's mandated by the HSE, I guess the UK equivalent of OSHA. Of course, it's also a legal requirement that employees actually use it. Exactly. Lol. It should be noted that these boots are also equipped with non-slip coating that wears off within a year of walking around. This is an OSHA issue, if you work around chemicals that could be spilled. I admire your moxie, sir, but it burns me up that they did that. Whenever I have to repair a company vehicle, I use colorful, girly duct tape. Broken window, duct tape. Work phone case cracking, duct tape. Loose bumper, panel, duct tape. Gotta love colored duct tape. A really hard to miss, oi. This needs fixed. My dad worked for the US Postal Service in the 1970s and 1980s. He joined the Postal Workers Union. He told me that every time the members voted a competent union representative, the post office would promote them into management within a few months. When a union rep who was just killing time got elected, the post office would leave them there as long as the union allowed. After several years at the post office, my dad was elected union representative. He said the post office offered him promotions at least 2 times a month, for the next 5 years, while he refused the promotions and stayed union rep until 6 months before he retired. He said, strangely enough, the offers of promotion stopped when he stepped down as union representative. For our CNC class at school, we needed to buy steel toe boots. The only other girl in class besides me ordered pink steel toe boots. All of our male teachers taught the shoes were great. But you.